Hey guys, how's it going? It's the day after Christmas, and I spent a few more hours out in the garage. And it's about a little after about 8:30 right now, so I'm getting ready to wrap it up. I know it's time to wrap it up when I just sit down and stare at it and not doing anything anymore. So I figured that'd be a good time to grab the camera and do an update of where I got to. And I started out this morning. I don't know why, but I got on a old can attack, and so I started taking coffee cans that I had around. One was from Lakeside Ranch. I think I got one from, might be Ujizzy, I'm not sure, or yard sale. But anyway, so I cut those cans out of their perspective containers just so I'd have the flat part of metal, you know. And then I took the flat part of metal and bent the edges over, because this stuff is really thin, so I wanted to have a little bit of stiffness, actually have a purpose. And I got like an old school little break here. So I folded the edges over on both sides. It's probably a 2.5 inch wide piece. Now it's an 1.5 inch wide piece. And then after that, I took them and I stuck it around a pipe with this much staying proud of the top, and I used big hose clamps, and I clamped it around the pipe, and then I just took a hammer and rolled the edge over. So I started with making that one, and not sure if I like it or not. I like the idea, but I think I might be too busy. And again, I did another one, just kind of made it square. Same idea on the back side, folded the edges over and folded them again to make it so that possibly a chain guard on this side. And again, I think it might be too busy with so much of the advertising stuff, but that's how I started. And then from there, I moved on to making the exhaust. So what I started doing was I took these 3 pipes that were on there off and just welded them up solid, and figured out that that was definitely where they're going to stay. I took the belt system and I did a true alignment and true location of everything, because I wanted to kind of build all the guards around everything, so I needed it in the right spot. So again, I welded that guy up, and then I went over to the the snow melted. And when the snow melted, I found myself a couple more baseball bats. And there's one right there, and there's a blue one on the bench there. So I did my best to pack it with sand, hollow it out, and make the bends again. And that's what I did. It's kind of cool, actually. It says vapor on it, and it's got flames on it. Flames are going the wrong direction, but so be it. That is kind of more in keeping with what I wanted. And what I did was I just did like what they do on a manifold. I just set up a couple of springs with nuts, drilled some holes in the handle to hold it forward onto it. This pipe goes in about 3/4 of an inch, whatever the fatness of this is, and then it hits this on the inside. So that holds it taut together. And then I made a saddle for it to sit on. And again, it's another piece of pipe cut lengthwise, and then 4 nuts welded on it. And what I'll do is I'll put 2 springs around it. I don't have enough springs right now, and there'll be another spring here. And that saddle kind of just holds the pipe right where it needs to be. And then again, I use the socket on the bottom to notch it to the frame and make that, you know, be the support of it. So that should work out pretty good. And I tucked it in pretty tight. Probably left about 1 inch from the rim. And I did my best to try to make it up there where that it lines up to that stuff straight, and then on an angle, the same thing, that goes in a straight line. So I think I got that pretty good. And then again, I made a chain guard out of a couple of wrenches. Chain guard, a belt. I shouldn't say. It's a guard or keeper, and it kind of helps when you let off keep this in place, and it works very well. I'll spin it in a little bit to show everything I made first. And then I swore I had brass around somewhere, a roll of brass. I wanted to make that sucker out of brass so bad, but I did it with copper. Again, the same thing. Took copper and I folded it over on itself, and then took needle nose pliers and made a twist every so far and gave the metal someplace to go. And then that has 2 little wrenches. See one there and one down below that are tacked on, and they unbolt, and that's what holds this guard. This is a heat shield, you know, to keep it from the gas tank. And again, the gas tank needed something to keep it from sliding down on there. So what there is just a pop it on. There we go. There's just like a T-bar made up here, and what I'll do is I'll put a little piece of fuel line on this side and the other side, so when it sits down, it'll sit on rubber, not metal on metal as it vibrates. And I left a little bit of room up top there for it to go up that much further. Oh, that's kind of tight, you know, how much room you have. I like the look of that. The bat I like the look of the red. I figured I was kind of starting to stay with. As far as the shifter setup, I played with my alignment, so I had to kick this guy over some more, and which was kind of good because it gave me plenty of clearance between the belt. Welded this up a little harder, welded this up a little bit more, and then I made a keeper for when it goes back. How far it falls into it is just another little wrench right here that stops it from going so far. And then on the other end of it, there's a spring that keeps tension on it, and basically that just pulls it away from the belt and keeps it so this has tension on it. And anything else on that? No. So, and then of course on top, what rat rod, anything would be not complete without a piston on the bike somewhere. So again, on my shifter, this is a moped piston, and I do have the rings for it, and I'll put the rings on it also. Well, what's on here on the top of the ratchet, there's a nut welded sitting like this right on top of the ratchet, and then I just pushed the wrist pin back through it again. So that's 2 wiggles and waddles, and I kind of want it to wiggle and waddle. If it's too bad, I'll pack it with rubber or something, but for now that's how we're going to leave it. As far as how it works now, it's got tension on it, so it rests against the saddle. That's in the off position. So, and then the pulley comes away, it's free. You can see it resting on the guard right here. That's what I was talking about, that it needs something so that it does not want to flop right there, because if it does, if it's allowed to flop right here, not so much on a serpentine belt, but a V belt definitely. So if I could see if I spin the motor, got the pull start. I had to plug out of it. Did you get the idea? So now it doesn't touch it anywhere around. And at the same token, I think it's still up in the air. You know, if you're in neutral and you don't want the engine powering the back tire, that works well there. But at the same token, if you're pedaling the bike, you want to be able to pedal the bike. And as you can see, it does not. It just kind of lays against the rim. And if you put it in gear and you spin it, so we'll do it on the side. And that's what the drive will be when it's all together. So I have neutral both ways. If you want to pedal it, you won't be dragging the motor behind and the belt system turning, and vice versa. If you're trying to power the motor and letting it just sit there and freewheel, it can do that without burning up the belt too. Anything else I could add to it? I just started stiffening everything up to it, a little bit more permanent welds, but it does have to come apart. I got the seat sitting down all the way down. Right now it's just, it's not bolted in, but it pretty much sits all the way down in the cradle. And then I took the mount that this Fender came with in there. You can see it, and I put that in place, and I tacked that on for the back fender and did some notching on the back fenders just so it would kind of clear the bike and be able to be center over the back of the wheel. The reflector's cockeyed, but you get the idea. So that's that guy. I think that's where I am now. I think that's everything I've added to it at the moment. Again, it's about 8:30, so I figured I'd wrap it up and give it another day. I think it's going to work out pretty good. I think the gear ratio is good. I got to take something, either try to make an air filter, take this thing off, and see if I could squeeze an air filter in here, or I may take and make a flange and kick the carburetor a little bit out to the side. But if I do that, I'll probably end up screwing up the governor linkage, and I may or may not want to leave the governor on there. So kind of want to start it up. I want to hear what that exhaust sounds like now, but due time. I want to get all this stuff where it needs to be, and I think tomorrow, if I play with this, I got some snow blowers to work on, but I want to start with start making some of the gussets for all the pieces now, to start beefing everything up now that I know where the bits and pieces go. This side's starting to look better than the other side now. You can tell with all the junk on it, on the bench. I don't know, chain guard, no chain guard. That's kind of with it. Without. I got another idea for chain guard too. Not sure if I want to do it. I was thinking about taking copper tubing and running the chain through the copper tubing and flare each end out, and then having like some brackets come off it and hold the copper tubing. I could probably do that top and bottom by one length of ½ inch, you know, and just let the thing get all greased up on the inside. Who cares if it rubs, you know? Probably help keep an alignment also. All right, guys. Again, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. I'm going in. Go have dinner. Good night.